economic disparity. That is huge and broad. What are specific things you can win to make that better? You're not going to fix the whole thing, right? You're not going to fix the world of the problem. But what's the specific thing that you do that takes you one step to get you closer?
Living wage.
Hey, a living wage ordinance, right? The city of Chicago, anyone who works will be paid a living wage, which is 11 something in Chicago per hour? Something like that, right? That's a great example of a clear cut. What were you going to say?
This might kind of combine something, but you could redistribute the tax structure for funding versus
Progressive tax system.
Okay. Those are both pretty broad, so you need to give me a little bit more. So redistribute, what do you mean? What do you want to happen?
not have the taxes in a certain area.
That's great. You just told me what you don't want to happen. What do you want to happen? While you think about it, what do you mean when you say progressive tax structure? I'm going to come back. Keep thinking.
Tax the top 20% of people who are making a certain amount of income by 3%, and that will eliminate the structural deficit in less than 3 years.
Okay, there we go. Increased taxation in the top tax bracket. That would be something that would get you toward this. What were you going to say? He's still thinking. He's going to get it. Yes?
So mandate that the same amount be spent on each child in Cook County, regardless of where they live.
Yeah.
Educate them.
Equalize the education fund, right? At a set amount. From who? Right? We need to be really specific. If you don't know what you want, here's what I can promise you. You will not get it. Okay? So we have to take these big problems, because problems are so large, they make us feel hopeless. Right? Man, there's so many guns on the street. There's so much disparity in wealth. Education is so bad. Right? People who love the status quo want you to be thinking about problems, because you're never going to be taking them on. Racism.
Well, you
Right.
have to really get out and do something about it on your own. You know?
Yeah.
First thing, you start with yourself, and then you start out and try to get somebody to do it with you or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's one thing, but the education is the main problem all the way around.
Yeah. But
And
what I'm
that's
going
from
to
the
encourage you
cradle
to
to the
think
grave
about
thing.
is that we don't want to. Let me ask you a question. Here we go. Because we say things like that, right? We say Dr. King fought racism. Did Dr. King fight racism?
He didn't fight just racism. He was fighting for everything.
But what did he
It
do?
needed to be done.
When he was actually in a campaign, was he fighting racism? That was his tactic. What was he fighting? No, you are all wrong. You would never succeed in driving social change. He did not fight inequality. He fought segregated buses in Birmingham. He fought segregated lunch counters. Okay, he got specific. And he used those victories to move us to something different. He did not lead a march, right, that was about, we want to end racism. He picked strategic, specific targets. Gandhi did the exact same thing, right? He did a salt march, right? We're going to talk about one specific thing, and we're going to use that to change. We're going to go after this bus system in this city. We're going to go after these lunch counters. We're going to go after this law. They cut a huge problem into issues that they could tackle. Problems, there's no one can fix that for you, right? Who's going to fix racism?
Each body have to work on itself.
Okay, I can't do a campaign around that, right? It's too big, but I can do a campaign around the fact that we have racist enforcement of drug policy in Illinois. I can change a law. There's someone I can talk to or yell at or sit in nonviolently and lovingly about that. Okay? So that's what we got to get to. And the great people who run even movements are doing this. Right? And we often make the mistake of wanting to have really broad discussions about problems. And we can do that. But once you want to start moving for change, you better get here. You better get to an issue. So know what you want. Right? For instance, we're running a campaign currently, and then actually just wrapped it up. Chicago is the worst place in the nation to be an African-American senior who needs to be in a nursing home. The worst. You are likely to die if you have to go into a nursing home on the south or west side. Right? Our demand was that all nursing homes have a minimum staffing requirement of 4.1 hours of skilled care per day. It was a specific demand that someone could give to us. We did a lot of really fun actions. We did funeral processions to bad nursing homes. We delivered coffins to the lobbyists of the nursing home industry. And we won that. If we had said we want better nursing homes or even better staffing, we never would have gotten it. Or we would have, right? I want better staffing. All right, we just hired another staff person. You got it. I took 2 guns off the street. We have less guns. I want better education. We raised our test scores 1 point. Or what we do in Chicago, right? We just make the test easier so our test scores look better. That's what we really like to do here. So once you know what you want, the second question you have to ask is, someone read that.
Who can give it to us?
Who can give it to us? Why did I put give in quotation marks?
Because you're taking.
Do people in power ever give you change? No. You always will have to fight for it. You notice that this says who and not what? Why is that important? Yes, say it loud.
So it's a person that's going to give it.
It's a person. This is what we call your target. Some people don't like that word. I think it's nicer than enemy, which is how some people call it. Your target is the person who can create the change you want to see. Right? So what do we have? We had, okay, the City of Chicago handgun ordinance. Who could give you that? That's weird because of the Supreme Court. Let's pretend the Supreme Court's not there. Yeah, Mayor Daley. That is the person who can do that for you. Progressive income tax. In where? In Illinois?
In Illinois.
Who can give it to you?
Senator Cullerton, who passed SB 750, got it passed in the Senate, but it has failed to pass it in the House.
Okay. Actually, 750 isn't progressive income tax, right?
No, it's a whole
It's
bill,
something
but
different,
it's
yeah.
hard, it's in it.
But good. So who's John Cullerton? Someone who's not here. Who is it? What?
Treasurer, am I treasurer?
Nope, not the treasurer. Someone else. Anyone know who John Cullerton is?
I can't think of who, I can't think right now.
John Cullerton. Okay, who's John Cullerton?
An Illinois senator or representative.
Yeah, he's a senator.
Much more important, he's the president of the Illinois Senate. However, I would say you are wrong, because who's the most powerful person in Illinois politics? Madigan.
Madigan.
Anyone who said the governor, y'all are really wrong. He's like number 6. Mike Madigan, the Speaker of the House, is the reason that we don't have a fair budget right now.
Absolutely.
Cullerton passed it, Quinn was ready to sign it, Madigan
All he
wouldn't.
did was kept it off of the floor.
Is that right? Yeah.
I know.
You need to know who can give it to you. This is your target, right? Who was going to end segregation on the buses in Birmingham?
The mayor of Birmingham.
Yeah. Actually, they were a strong city council. So the 4 city council people whose votes you need to win on a 7-person city council. You need to know their names. You need to know about them. You need to know your target. If you don't know that, again, you're not going to get it. And it's really, really depressing to do a campaign on the wrong target. Because you get all your folks riled up and you finally get in front of the target and you're like, we demand, and they're like, I can't do that. Right? Like, you could do a campaign on me to get progressive taxation, and I would love to give it to you. But I do not have the ability to. This is the general rule. This is a metaphor. Please understand that what I'm about to say is a metaphor. Metaphor. I do not advocate doing this. This is the test to know if you have the right target. If you put a gun to this person's head, could they give you what you want? Do not put guns to anyone's head. This is a metaphorical test. Everyone heard me and put me on camera saying no one put guns to anyone's head and say Alex told me to at the Roosevelt Summit. But that's the test. If the person can't do that, you have the wrong target. And if you have the wrong target, the person who can give you what you want, you're not going to get what you want. And it's important to do that because the issues you all